What's going on, everybody? It's JetsCentral, finally back with another video, and in this one we're going to be breaking down the New York Jets 2019 schedule, the entire schedule, weeks 1 through 17. Let's not waste any time. Let's hop right in. Week 1, the New York Jets are home against the Buffalo Bills, the division rival Buffalo Bills. Now, before I get into this prediction, I want to give a quick little message or dish out my thoughts a little bit on the Buffalo Bills. A quick little message to the Bills fans. I believe this Buffalo Bills team right now is being underrated by a lot of people out there, the talking heads on major sports media outlets. I think they're just looking at this Bills team and they're saying, this team is no better than 4 wins, no better than 5 wins. I completely disagree. I think the Bills are going to be a threat this season in the AFC. With that being said, I still have the Jets pulling out this victory in week 1. I think MetLife Stadium is going to be rocking against a division rival right out of the gate. Think about it. This New York Jets team is completely different. Whether you're talking about the head coach, the coordinators, the running backs, the rookies, the uniform, this New York Jets team, nobody has any tape on this Jets team, okay? Yes, they do have tape on Adam Gase and Logan's offense, but that changed. I mean, that's when he was with the, when Gase was with the Miami Dolphins. So his offense could completely change. Gase is a guy who bends and forms his offense to best fit his players, okay? And this Jets offense is a lot different than the Miami Dolphins offense, in previous years. So I have the Jets coming away victorious, but don't sleep on the Buffalo Bills. They will make some noise this season. They improved at the wide receiver position. The Bills, too, really, before I move on, the Bills got a lot better at the positions that they really needed help at, wide receiver and offensive line. I think the offensive line, the pickups that the Bills made on the O-line, massively underrated. So moving on, week 2, it's a Monday night matchup, okay, a primetime matchup against the Cleveland Browns. This game right here, and it's home, right? The game's going to be played at MetLife. That's another key. Back-to-back home games to start off the season. Weeks 1 and 2 we're going to be at home. That could be crucial moving forward. But this is probably one of my number 1 games I'm most looking forward to this season, because the Browns, they're a team just like the Jets who were not really that good for a long time, and now they finally, you can see the light at the tunnel. They have their quarterback. They made some, crazy trades throughout the crazy acquisitions, players, whether it's Odell Beckham Jr., whether it's Kareem Hunt. This Browns team is talented as hell. This New York Jets team, they're kind of in the same boat, right? They go out and they get, guys like Quinn and Williams, guys like C.J. Mosley, guys like Le'Veon Bell. So both teams were kind of in the gutter for a really long time, and now they can see the light at the end of the tunnel. And both fan bases are kind of chirping back and forth, with each other on Twitter. And this is just going to be a tremendous matchup. I love it how it's on Monday night. I have the Jets winning this one again. I think the Browns, they're going to be a force this season, but I think it's going to take a few weeks for all those pieces to click. The Browns have a lot of moving parts. They have a lot of mouths to feed on the offensive side of the football. I think it's going to take them 5 to 6 to 7 weeks to really get in sync. Expect the Browns around week 7, week 8, week 9 to go on a winning streak. Okay, that's when I really think the Browns. I think that's when the Giants going to to rise. I guess I think this Browns team right now, it's a sleeping giant. But again, I think it's going to take a little bit of time for this Browns team to wake up and really take the league by storm. Okay, so early on in the season, week 2 at home, Monday Night Football, the Jets fans are going to pack the house for this one. Mayfield versus Darnold, there's a little rivalry there. And it's kind of ironic, too, because a lot of the Jets fans thought they were going to be getting Mayfield was going to be the quarterback of the Jets. This was pre-draft, and then the Browns fans thought that Darnold was going to be the future of Cleveland, but it turns out that it's actually the opposite. So going to be a great matchup. Hopefully it's a lot better matchup than last season's game between the two teams, which was also a primetime game, Mayfield's debut. All right, so moving on, week 3, we got the New England Patriots in Foxborough. Okay, that I think is the key in this game. The game is going to be played, in Massachusetts. I have this game chalked up as a loss. I think right now, early on in the season, even though the Patriots won't have a lot of tape on this Gase offense and really how to shut down Le'Veon Bell, I think at the end of the day, the Patriots are the more talented team. They're the better team. They're, as of this point right now, talking, and again, I'm making this video at the end of June here. The Patriots are so much better coached right now. I have the Pats winning this game. A big divisional game inside the AFC East. I got the Pats taking this one. They're just the better team. Flat out, they're just the better team. All right, so moving on, week 4, it's a bye week, okay? I love bye weeks because it gives the chance, it gives players a chance to rest their bodies, to kind of take their mind off of football, to go do something else, to bond off the field. But early on in the season, it bothers me. It's not the end of the world, but I feel like we're really going to start paying for this, later in the season, just having the bye week so early. It kind of reminds me of when the Miami Dolphins and the Tampa Bay Buccaneers had their bye week literally on week 1 because of the hurricane. Okay, so they had to just take a full week off, the first week off of the season. They started their season week 2. I mean, it just sets up a very, very difficult road moving forward. But again, it's not the end of the world. By week 4, it is what it is. So moving on, we got the Philadelphia Eagles in Philly, week 5. Again, I'm gonna chalk this one up as a loss. Remember, the Philadelphia Eagles, they have back-to-back away games after week 5. After week 5, against some pretty, formidable opponents. I think the Philadelphia Eagles, as of right now, they're the better team. This team is, this is a team a few years removed from winning a Super Bowl championship. I think Carson Wentz coming back, I think he's going to take a massive step forward. I could see him winning whether it's the Offensive Player of the Year or the MVP award this season. I think the Eagles are going to be a lot better. I think a lot of people are sleeping on Philadelphia. This team is still a force, okay? And I think Philly gets the job done at home. The New York Jets, it's no surprise to Jets fans out there that we've struggled in Philly, okay? It's just a tough place to play. Whether it's the Jets, whether it's another team, division rival, what have you, playing in Philly is tough. Winning in Philly is tough. I think the Eagles right now, they're the better team, and I think they get the job done. I think they take care of business, knowing that they have to go on the road back to back after the New York Jets, even though the Jets have 2 weeks to prepare for this Eagles team. Moving on, week 6 against the Dallas Cowboys. At home, okay, we're at home, we're back at MetLife, but I think the Cowboys and the New York, I think the matchup, when you look at offense versus defense versus offense, I think the Cowboys match up very, very well with the New York Jets, just as far as personnel goes. I think Dak Prescott is going to have a ton of time to throw. I think they have, Dallas is kind of known for not having, a complex offensive system. They kind of kill everybody with simplicity and really just try to maul people in the trenches, right? That offensive line is no joke. I think Dak Prescott is going to have all day to throw, and I feel like that's going to be the Jets' demise in this matchup. I got the Cowboys taking this one on the road. Okay, so right now, not looking too good. 2 wins, 3 losses through 6 weeks of the season, plus a bye. So looking okay. It's not, the sky's not falling here, but we move on. Week 7. New England Patriots at MetLife Stadium. This is where the Jets get their revenge. I believe that this Jets team is going to beat the Patriots in Week 7. I think the Pats right now, they're not as good as they were last season as far as personnel goes. I think the Jets, Adam Gase, Dowell Loggins, this offensive coaching staff takes a lot of the mistakes that this team probably will make in week 3 rather, and they come up with a really, really formidable plan to go up against this Patriots team at home. This is a game right now. I believe this game is also a primetime matchup as well. The Jets fans will not let the team down. They will pack the house, MetLife Stadium. It is going to be rocking. I'm going to try to get up to Jersey for this game. It's just going to be outstanding game. This is also a game where I can see the Jets wearing the double black. So I got the Jets winning this one, okay? Bouncing back after 3 straight losses, I got the Jets winning against a massive win against a major division rival, the New England Patriots. Okay, so moving on, week 8, away. Down in the Sunshine State against the Jacksonville Jaguars, okay? I'm going to chalk this one up as a loss. I think the Jaguars team right now, they're a really, really, really solid organization, solid team personnel-wise. I don't really know what's going on with Telvin Smith, but nonetheless, this Jaguars defense is no joke. This Jacksonville Jaguar defense is elite. This is also another game I'm going to be trying to go to as well. I'm going to try to attend it with UCF Jaguar, my good buddy. But in any case, the Jets and the Jaguars have played, they played pretty close matchups in recent years. I know last year it was just a complete blowout between the Jags and the Jets. I attended that game, and it was just awful to watch. But I think when I look at this Jaguar organization, they lost a lot of games last year because of the quarterback position. They blew so many chances with Blake Bortles, whether, it's just a poor throw, a poor decision, turnovers, inability to move the ball, the coaching staff not having faith in Blake Bortles to move, just relying too much on the run game, trying to be too much like the Dallas Cowboys and not having the offensive line play to back that up. The Jags defense is still elite. Okay, so yes, the Jags defense, they lost a bunch of games last year, obviously, but it wasn't really on the defense's shoulders. They bring Nick Foles in. They bring DiFilippo in. I think this Jaguar offense is going to take care of the football more. If I was the Jaguars, if I was DiFilippo, Tom Coughlin, Doug Marrone, I would try to take a book or a page out of the book of the Washington Redskins of last season, right? Have your quarterback take care of the football. Don't give him, don't force feed him the offense. Let him do his thing. Put him in a position to have success. If I'm the Jacksonville Jaguars, I think that they're going to have a lot of success at just doing things simple, just not turning the ball over and winning with that defense. I got the Jags winning this one week 8. So next up, week 9, we're going to be playing again in Florida against the division rival Miami Dolphins. I'm going to be chalking this one up as a victory. I think top to bottom, when you look at these two teams, no disrespect to the Miami Dolphins, but the Jets are pretty much better all across the board. I do like this Dolphins team. I love the direction that they're heading in. I'm still kind of iffy on Brian Flores, the new head coach, O'Shea, the new offensive coordinator. But I think Caldwell was a pretty nice addition too, just adding him as kind of a lower tier coach on that team, or on that staff rather. But I look at this Dolphins team, they have nice young players. Don't forget Xavier Howard, Christian Wilkins, Kiko Alonso. I could go on and on. Minka Fitzpatrick, one of my favorite players in the league. They acquired Josh Rosen. Okay, so they have pieces. They have kind of the foundation moving forward. This team reminds me a lot of the New York Jets, just kind of behind a year. Same with the Buffalo Bills. So I think when it's all said and done, the Jets get the win on the road against Miami. Adam Gase comes in wanting revenge on his old organization. I just think the Jets are a better team at this point in the season, just from top to bottom. Even though it's going to be in Miami, but still, I feel like the Jets, even last season, the Jets really, really shot themselves in the foot over and over and over again, whether it was, Todd Bowles' horrible, play calls. I don't even want to think back to that game. It was just bad. Offensive line play, bad. Sam Darnold did not look good. Just mistake after mistake after mistake. The defense looked pretty good, though. Jamal Adams had a hell of a day. So moving on, week 10 against the New York Giants. Home, away, whatever you want to call it. It's chalked up as a home game for the New York Jets. So that is somewhat of a disadvantage, but hey, it is what it is. You can't really complain. I believe this is going to be a win. I think really across the board, the Jets are better than the Giants. The only arguable position that the Giants have over the New York Jets is the running back, but how big of a drop-off is Saquon Barkley to Le'Veon Bell, the former number 1 running back in the league? So I think, and also with the New York Giants, I think Pat Shurmur, his offense is too conservative. I don't know the future of Eli Manning. Is he even going to be starting at this week 10 in the season? I don't even know. Is it going to be Daniel Jones? I think bottom line, the Jets are the better team. I just don't see how the Giants can pull this one out. And there's a lot of people saying that the Giants could be like a wild card contender, all that stuff. I don't buy it. I really don't buy it. I really do believe that this Giants team will get no more than 6 wins. I think 6 wins is the cap for this Giants organization. Moving on, week 11, Washington Redskins in Washington. Okay. A loss. I'm going to chalk this one up as a loss. I think the Redskins right now, as I did last season, they're a sleeper team. I think with the acquisition of Dwayne Haskins, this Redskins team, nobody seems to talk about this team. Sports media, when fans, when they focus in on the NFC East, all they want to do is they want to talk about the Cowboys, they want to talk about the Giants, and they even want to talk about the Eagles to some extent. But I feel like the Redskins, they fly under the radar. Even though I don't really think Jay Gruden's offense, kind of that West Coast style of system, is the best fit for Dwayne Haskins. I think at this point in the season, in this upcoming season, Haskins will be the starter at week 11. It's going to be at home. I think Haskins, with the vertical attack, with the weakness, with the just the overall thin position at cornerback with the Jets, I feel like Haskins is going to light up the Jets in this matchup. Not a good matchup. Not a good matchup for this Jets team. They have studs all across the defensive side as well. Guys like Ryan Kerrigan. So many players. Deron Payne and Jonathan Allen. They have studs. The Washington Redskins, And remember, and this team also, by the way, was on pace to win the division last season, but it just, everything kind of, Marshall's Law, what could go wrong, did go wrong. Everybody was getting hurt, whether it was the quarterback. I mean, how many quarterbacks got hurt? Alex Smith got hurt. Sanchez got hurt. Colt McCoy got hurt. I mean, they were down. I think they played like 4 or 5 quarterbacks last season. It was a mess. The offensive line was just in shambles. This Redskins team, they're going to be coming back healthy. I have Washington winning this matchup week 11. So moving on, week 12, home, back at MetLife Stadium against the Oakland Raiders. Vegas Raiders, whatever you want to call them. The Raider, and not going to lie to you, this was actually one of the hardest games for me to try to predict when I was coming up with this list. I have no idea what to expect from this Raiders team. I would like to think they're going to be a lot better. With the crazy acquisitions that they made, whether it was through free agency, whether it was through the draft, whether it was through a trade, this team got a lot better. And yes, the Raiders, everybody makes fun of them. Everybody takes shots at them, whether it's the media, whether it's fans, whatever, people on Twitter. But the speaking of numbers and statistics, the Raiders' offense last season was not that bad. It was not that bad. The reason why this Raiders team lost a bunch of games last season, because they couldn't get after the passer and they could not stop the run. They did get better at those positions. Defensive line, pass rusher, they got talent at those positions. Yes, it is young, but did they get better? The answer is yes. Not to mention that they acquired, veteran guys, Antonio Brown, Vontaze Burfict, okay, LaMarcus Joyner. This Raiders team will get better, but you never really know. You never know with this Raiders team when it just seems, basing this off of history, when a team goes out there and just spends tons of money, getting personality after personality after personality, sometimes it could just blow up, okay? It could just implode. So we never, and again, I'm making this video in June. I don't really know how this Raiders team is going to fare moving forward. From the outside looking in, I got the Jets winning this one at home. Also remember that the Raiders are going to be flying across country. They have a week, the game before that, I believe it's the Cincinnati Bengals in Oakland. So whenever you have to deal with that major time zone change from Cali to New York, it's tough on the West Coast players if they're flying, of course, over to the East Coast. So moving on. Week 13, Cincinnati Bengals in Cincinnati. I have another win for this Jets team. I think kind of similar to the Miami Dolphins. When you look at the Jets' positions across the board, when you look at the Bengals across the board, I believe this Jets team is overall just the better team. I think the better team will win in this matchup. I think the Bengals might have a little bit of turbulence this season with a new rookie head coach, Zach Taylor. Even though I love him, don't expect the Bengals to make that much noise this season, but I like the direction that they're headed. And of course, they still have great players, guys like Geno Atkins and AJ Green. They have studs. Joe Mixon, Gio Bernard, they have playmakers on this team. I like this Bengals team. I like them a lot. I've been keeping very close tabs on this Bengals organization throughout the offseason. I've liked some of their moves. I really do. And I guess hindsight could be 20/20 here. But if I was the Bengals, I would have drafted Dwayne Haskins at spot number 11 over Jonah Williams. Yes, Jonah Williams has been dominating through camp, but he did just get hurt. I believe it's a labrum issue, so he's going to be missing the whole entire season, which is a shame. But in any case, I think the Bengals are going to struggle this season. I think they could be in play for a top 5 pick and move on from the quarterback position, or move on from the quarterback that they currently have, Andy Dalton. Maybe go with a guy like Tua Tagovailoa, Justin Herbert. You never know. Maybe you have one of these sleepers pop up into the mix, like a Shea Patterson, a Hunter Johnson, a Jacob Eason, somebody along those lines. Bottom line, long story short, New York Jets take the victory week 13. And also, this is the last game, or heading into December. So going into week 14, we're back at MetLife Stadium against the Miami Dolphins, another division rival. It's going to be cold, all right? Think about it. A team that isn't as talented, isn't as well coached, warm weather team going up to New York, in a Jets organization right now that has a solid amount of wins that could be fighting for a playoff spot. This is a must-win game for the Jets. If this scenario plays out, this is a must-win game for the Jets. If they blow this game with a chance to go to the playoffs upcoming, you cannot lose games to teams that you should be winning against. I have the Jets getting a victory here, and I got my little cat in here. Really hang out for a little bit. So week 15, moving on from week 14, we got that victory. Moving on to week 15, Baltimore Ravens in Baltimore. This is going to be a loss. I don't see the Jets winning in Baltimore. And this is actually a little spoiler as well, because I'm going to be posting another video about this topic in the future, probably in a week, maybe half week, something along those lines. I think the Baltimore Ravens are the most underrated team in the league right now. I think Lamar Jackson takes a huge step forward. I like the acquisitions of Ingram and Earl Thomas and Marquise Brown coming out of the draft. Don't sleep on Baltimore. Don't sleep on Harbaugh. Everybody's talking about Pittsburgh winning the division. Everybody's talking about Cleveland winning the division. I think the Baltimore Ravens are going to be winning the AFC North. I think the Ravens, this is going to be a very, very good team. Even though they lost some key pieces. Terrell Suggs, CJ Mosley, whatnot. Bottom line, Ravens, in my opinion, I think they're going to be a great team. And playing at home late in the season, December football against the New York Jets, I got the Ravens winning. Next up, Week 16, Pittsburgh Steelers at home, back at MetLife Stadium. Le'Veon Bell's chance to redeem himself, to get revenge on the Steelers organization that, frankly, threw him to the wolves. They just tossed him in the gutter. They said, hey, we're going to work you to the bone, and now that it's time to pay you, we're just going to scrap you, all right? So will Le'Veon Bell have a great game? Will the New York Jets win this game? I believe the Jets will win this game. I think the Steelers will overlook the Jets fighting for the AFC North because they have the Baltimore Ravens in Week 17. Again, this is, of course, all just a scenario here, but if the Ravens are as good as I predict, I think the Steelers are going to be really, really focused on the Ravens, and they might overlook the Jets. The Steelers could be fighting for a divisional title where the Jets could be fighting for a wild card. I think they're going to be focused on the Baltimore Ravens. I think this Jets team right now has the firepower on offense to put up the same style of numbers against this Steelers defense, which has been a little spotty. They do have nice players, guys that I like on that defense, like Edmonds, like TJ Watt. They got some pretty solid players, but I think at the end of the day, last home game for this Jets team, fighting to go to the playoffs, Le'Veon Bell with this Jets team now, his new team, I got the Jets winning. Which leads us to Week 17 against the Buffalo Bills. The Buffalo Bills, all right? And this is a team right now, and I know I touched on them in Week 1, but the fans, the Bills fans and the Jets fans, they've been going at it. One, just back and forth over Twitter, over, in comment sections, on different forums, on the internet. I got the Bills winning this one. I think the Bills, like I said before, this is all one big scenario here, but I believe the Bills are going to be better. I think this Bills team could be fighting for 8-8, 9-7. I mean, they're coming home after back-to-back road games against the Pittsburgh Steelers, against the New England Patriots. Now they're coming back home, with that Bills Mafia, with the Bills fans rocking the house. They seem to. I feel like the Jets and the Bills always play late in the season. I don't know why, but I feel like the Bills always kind of spoil it for us. And I have nightmares of the week of 2015 when we had our chance to go to the playoffs with Brandon Marshall, Todd Bowles' first year, Ryan Fitzmagic, that whole season. I hate to remind you guys about that, but it did happen. All right, so hopefully it doesn't happen. Hopefully I'm wrong in this game, but I got the Bills winning. I think coming off the 2 road games for the Bills, I think coming back home, it's going to be a nice homecoming for them. I think the Jets are going to have they're going to put a lot into beating the Pittsburgh Steelers. They might be out of gas by the time Week 17 hits. So all in all, 9-7. 9-7 for this New York Jets team. And I didn't really go through the whole AFC or the AFC conference to kind of pick out if this team is going to be, making a wild card here. But I think when it's all said and done, they're going to be in the mix. I think the Bills are going to be in the mix. I think the Pittsburgh Steelers, Baltimore Raven, Cleveland Brown trio could be in the mix for a wild card position. Also, you can't count out the Kansas City Chiefs, the LA Chargers, and then also really AFC South. I think it's going to be a solid division, but I think the second place team is going to be 7-9, 8-8, somewhere in that range. I believe the Colts will take hold of that division. I do think the Jags will get better. I think the Texans will get worse. I think the Tennessee Titans, they'll be better in the long run because I like some of their moves that they made this offseason. Humphreys, really solid draft class, A.J. Brown, whatnot, Jeffrey Simmons. But I think it won't help them that much this season. I think there will be question marks about Marcus Mariota. So bottom line, don't be surprised if Ryan Tannehill is actually starting games late in the season as well. But the Jets could be in the mix. The Bills could be in the mix. Chargers, Chiefs, Browns, Ravens, Steelers. I don't really see any team coming out from the AFC South from a wild card position. But that's kind of it. That's there you have it. So I have the New York Jets going 9-7. Can I be wrong? Of course I could be wrong. But I'm hoping, if the Jets do go 9-7 this season, first year under Adam Gase, I would say it's it's a success. Is it the end goal? Absolutely not. But is it a step in the right direction? Think about it. We were a bottom 3 team in the league record-wise last season. To go from picking 3rd in the draft to possibly making a wild card, huge step forward. Huge step forward. Okay, so let me know your thoughts down below in the comment section. What is the New York Jets record going to be? I would love to kind of hear your game-by-game breakdown and, of course, the reasons why. So I know this was a longer video, but I haven't posted a video in forever, and I do apologize for that. Been trying to space out the videos because right now it's just the dead period of the NFL. Been going through some stuff personally, trying to work some things out as well. So let me know your thoughts. I do apologize for the tardiness on the videos and whatnot, but hey, it's the full schedule breakdown. It is what it is. Let me know your thoughts, and as always, go Jets.